Greetings, my fellow Fright fans. It's your buddy BoogeyMan Ben here for a new episode of BoogeyMan Ben's Horror Zone, and today's video is going to be talking about the fourth film in the Halloween franchise. This, of course, is Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers, and this is one that came out in the fall of 1988. That was a year that I had just started high school, and I remember going to see this film in the theater opening night. And we'll get it out of here, out of the old box. So here it is. Now, this film, of course, you know, after what happened with Halloween 3 not doing well at the box office, and John Carpenter and Deborah Hill pretty much moving on from the Halloween franchise, Mustafa Akkad, the late great Mustafa Akkad, got the rights to the franchise and decided to bring Michael Myers back from the dead. And they did a fantastic job with this film. I remember watching this opening night in the theater. I remember prior to this coming out, I had seen an article in Fangoria, which I bought regularly as a kid. I saw a picture of Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis, and I was shocked because I was sure that even if they were bringing Michael Myers back, there was no way that Donald Pleasence's character would have survived what happened in Halloween 2. But I was so happy to see that Donald Pleasence came back as Dr. Loomis. But being that aside, this film is great. It's a great story. I love the opening of this film. I think the opening of Halloween 4 is probably one of the strongest openings for any film in the series. The music by Alan Howarth, who does, of course, do the themes by John Carpenter, which are peppered through the film. But the opening is just eerie. Without hearing the Halloween theme, it shows like just images of Halloween. It could be just like, you know, pumpkins or just shadows or like windmills and things like that. Just it really brings you into the month of October and what that would be like in Illinois late October. Just fantastic, and I really love that opening. It's really one of my favorites. The opening of this film is really one of my favorites. I just love it. I love the way that Michael Myers was kind of in a coma for, you know, this is supposed to be 10 years after the original, and that, you know, he escapes as they're transferring him to Smith's Grove, and of course Dr. Loomis is on the hunt to find him. But the one negative I have towards this film is the fact that Laurie Strode's character was killed off. They didn't say how she died, but you just know that Jamie Lloyd, who is played by the amazing Danielle Harris, who I will get into in just a minute, but that Jamie has been adopted by the Carruthers family because Laurie Strode and her husband supposedly died. You don't know how, but I really didn't like that. I understand that at this point, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis was a huge star. She was doing movies like A Fish Called Wanda, and they probably couldn't get her. They couldn't afford to have her in the film. So they wrote her out, and they did it in kind of the generic 80s way of saying that she died. And I really, I've always had a problem with that. I think it's just because you had this amazing character in the first two films, and then for her to just be dead off screen like that was just kind of, I don't know, cheap. But again, they were working within the constraints of a looming writer's strike, so they did the best they could with what they had. Now, on to the amazing Danielle Harris. As just amazing. She is, as much as I love Donald Pleasence, he's fantastic in this film like he was in the other two. This is her film. This is the amazing Danielle Harris's film. I am so just in awe of this little actress in this film. She's one of the best child actresses I've ever seen. Also, cannot say enough great things about Ellie Cornell as Rachel. Probably one of the most awesome characters to come out of the Halloween franchise. I love both of them in this film. They are a tight unit. You're with them through this whole fucking film. They are just amazing together. And the other cast in the film is just fantastic. Bo Starr as Sheriff, Ben Meeker is awesome, and I really like Sasha Jensen as Brady. And Kathleen Kinmont is fantastic in the film as well. I've always been a fan of her. She's gorgeous. But Rachel has my heart in this film. She always will. Love Ellie Cornell. She's absolutely fantastic. Michael Myers, played in this film by the amazing George Wilbur, and also Tom Morga, who doesn't get enough credit in this film. But Tom Morga also played the Roy version of Jason, the imposter Jason, in Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. He plays Michael Myers in this as well, but a lot of people just associate George Wilbur with playing Michael Myers, but both men played him. I think Wilbur played him for the majority of the film, but Tom Morga should be given the credit as well. George Wilbur and Tom Morga do fantastic jobs as Michael Myers. Michael Myers is a lot bigger in this film. In the original films, Michael Myers was more of an average-looking guy. But I think because at that point the Friday the 13th had not taken off. At this point, the year that this came out, Friday the 13th Part 7 had come out. So Jason had morphed into this gigantic man, played by Kane Hodder. So they were trying, I think, to get a bigger guy to play Michael Myers to make him more imposing. And it works, it's fine, but I think the success of Michael Myers initially was the fact that he could just be anybody. And the fact that it was the costume and the look and just it was the character's body language. It's cool that he got bigger as the series film went on in terms of his shape and size, but I think it was kind of unnecessary to make him this big giant now at this point, because he was scary without that. I love the setting being in Salt Lake City, Utah. I think they did a great job with the way that the houses and everything. It looks like the Midwest. And this film is very scary. I still think this is one of the scariest films in the series. It still holds up to me. It's still great. I think it's just because everything is cohesive in this. It's a really great continuation of what happened after Halloween 2, minus the fact that they had to kill off Laurie Strode. But I think the entire cast and the direction, the writing, everything in this is fantastic. The music by Alan Howarth is fantastic. Besides the little dings I have on it, still a terrific film. I'd say it's probably my third favorite in the Halloween franchise. If I had to give this one a rating, I would give this film 4.5 skulls. So that is my review of Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I'm curious what other people think about this amazing film in the series. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Would love to hear from everyone. And please stay tuned for Part 5 of this series, where I will be talking about Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, which would come out 1 year after Halloween 4. So that is it, my friends. Thanks so much for watching. Take it easy. Stay scared as always.